All right, welcome back, everybody. Sorry about the technical difficulties there. You probably missed it, but Rixer for Kids took game one in this best of three series on Battlefield of Eternity, and now we are going to Sky Temple with Rixer for Kids up one game. I'm Balrog Fan, and this is our guest caster, Dunk Tank. Dunk Tank, how you doing?
I'm doing great, man. I know we had some struggles with the stream, but I had a lot of fun watching them play on Battlefield of Eternity. As I said, Battlefield of Eternity is one of my absolute favorite maps in the game. It's always so intense. And that's what we saw in this last game, just to give a quick recap for everybody that missed it. 2+2 ran a strategy where they consistently defended their Immortal and picked up a lot of kills and get a good early XP lead. But Rixer for Kids were able to capitalize because they consistently took the Immortal. They pushed a structure advantage, so they had constant pressure in the lanes. They essentially won the game by catching 2+2, committing to a mistake that was caused entirely by their ability to pick up the Immortals.
That's a very accurate description of what happened, and that's pretty much exactly how it went down. And we are going to have the replay sent to us, and it will be recasted on the Monday Muster for all our viewers on our YouTube channel. So worry not if you missed that game, which you pretty much did if you weren't me and Dunk. You can find it on our YouTube channel. And we are jumping right into this game. We are going to Sky Temple. What are some popular strategies on Sky Temple? I mean, right out the gate, Tassadar is really good here.
Right out of the gate, absolutely, Tassadar is good here. I wouldn't be surprised if we were looking at Brightwing bans here as well. Anybody that can off-push and then instantly show up in the team fight. ETC is another good strong pick for that situation. Actually go in the stage dive ETC and being able to push a lane, cause constant pressure, and then team fight time, you're just there with all the pain that the cow can bring. And like you said, you're on point tonight, calling out exactly what's going on. We see a Tassadar ban coming out first.
Yeah, Tassadar just offers too much value on this map with his force walls and just the way his damage ramps up in the late game when he starts to become very relevant damage-wise around the time it's very important to have control of the map and in Sky Temple. So he feels really dangerous. And
yeah,
if you
absolutely.
don't plan on taking him, you definitely want to ban him. Sorry.
Without a doubt. Oh, you're absolutely fine. The situation where he can just be a dangerous person. Anytime you have an objective to hold, the Archon can do a ton of damage. Anytime you have good wall spaces, his force wall can be such a huge problem. There's so many good options for him, and it looks like they're hovering over a Brightwing ban. If I'm not mistaken, we do have 2+2 on the left again.
Yes, I believe the teams are still on the same side, so we should be good there.
Okay, so 2+2 on the left, and Rixar for Kids on the right. They should be picking up their first pick now. Let's see what they favor.
I'm going to guess Instalock Garrosh within the next 10 seconds.
Oh, wow.
Wow. Putting the value on the Rhaegar more so than the Garrosh. Rhaegar is very strong healer, and one of the best things about Rhaegar is he's one of the few supports who's very fast at jungling and getting merc camps, so that provides a huge value here on Sky Temple. But what do you think about those picks from Rixer or from 2+2?
Like we were just talking about the situation where we have these global traveling abilities, they go ahead and nail two of them right out of the gate, picking up ETC and Brightwing. I would not be surprised if we see a stage dive ETC here, although it may be overkill with the global Brightwing travel. But I've seen a lot of push comp come out of 2+2 so far in Rekt League. And like you were talking about, Rixer for Kids goes ahead and picks up the Garrosh and gets a little bit of their own global travel with the Falstad as well. But on 2+2, they go a lot of good push strategy, so I wouldn't be surprised to see here if they try and capitalize on the structure game before they really engage in the team fight.
The ETC and Brightwing pick were so obvious. I feel like Rixer for Kids had to have known that was coming, and maybe they have something in the plan for that comp that they're not quite showing yet, because you go into this ban phase wondering, what are they going to do? Because they've just kind of picked very standard stuff right now. You got one global, one strong tank, one good support. I personally have no idea what they're doing, and I think that's exactly what I'd do. I'd say, all right, well, I just don't want to deal with Greymane, so get him out of here.
Yes, absolutely. And I think 2+2 is struggling to figure out exactly what they're doing here too, because they didn't show, Rixer for Kids didn't show a whole lot, like you said, with their first picks. They went strong meta picks here in a global. And right now, we don't see if they're going for a hard engage, if they're going to hang back and poke, if they're going to pick this up and push structures. We really have no idea where they're going right now. Knowing Ricks are for kids, I'd be surprised if they just outright played the structure game and didn't look for a way to capitalize on bush ganks and superior positioning.
Yeah, I'm going to really test my future seeing powers here and guess that Azul will be taken. I just don't know which side. I feel like Zul's a really good pickup here for 2+2, but I also feel like it's a great kind of throw-in pick to Ricks are for kids as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I wouldn't mind seeing Azul here either. He'd offer good survivability, additional CC in case Ricks are for kids does go for that favored dive comp. We see a Li Ming and a Zeratul here. This is interesting. It looks like they've picked up that Zeratul in an effort to go ahead and, what are we talking, stalling out Ricks are for kids' ability to pick out good backliners. And the Li Ming was a repeat from last game.
Yeah, and Zeratul can really set Li Ming up for some beautiful resets, especially when you've got Brightwing and ETC involved. You get another pick behind those two. I would love to see a Bruiser there. But yeah, I really like what they're going for here.
I do too. I'm seeing a strong draft here for this map from 2+2. Again, it's hard to say that Ricks are for kids has a weak draft. I just don't know exactly what they're doing here. We're going to see some serious linchpin picks here from them that's going to give us a good picture of what their plan is for this map.
Yeah, I hope I'm right about the Zul because I think he's pretty strong here and he's a very fun hero to watch. We won't know for sure until the next couple of seconds, but if they took the Zul, I guess I'd want to probably just see Vala or maybe Zul'jin. That's really cool. Zul'jin and Lucio. Okay, Zul'jin's very strong right now. He can put on a lot and the Malfurion follow-up pick immediately from 2+2. Zul'jin recently getting that rework.
Yeah, absolutely. Zul'jin is a good strong pick, and it does look like right now Ricks are for kids is opting for a little more conservative composition here, bringing two strong healers, a good constant healer out of Lucio to fill in the gaps of Rhaegar's burst healing. We've got Falstad and Zul'jin should be able to do good work on any targets caught by Garrosh. I think that Ricks are for kids could use a little more stun to follow up Garrosh's pull. But other than that, I think they look like they've got a decent composition here.
The real wild card in these fights is definitely going to be the Void Prison. If you get a good disruptive Void Prison on that team, it could immediately mean the end of someone like Falstad or Lucio or Rhaegar. So it's a scary proposition to think about when you have to fight on those temples.
Absolutely. Those team fights are going to be a delicate balance of positioning for Ricks or for kids. And if they make a misstep, they are going to be in a lot of trouble. I think they're leaning very heavily on Falstad Zul'jin for damage here. Their healing feels like they could fill in some gaps if one of them goes down. So I think as long as 2+2 makes some good target choices, they could really cause some trouble for Ricks or for kids.
The one thing they'll have in their favor, too, with the Lucio is that they're not a terribly mobile comp. Yes, they have globals, but it's really only ETC has very good movement abilities besides Zeratul, but stealths are kind of a different game. Their mobility doesn't really impact them unless they need to escape. So they're going to might have a hard time moving around a slightly faster Garrosh and Falstad. But anyways, I'm sorry. We'll start with the blue side, 2+2. On Brightwing, we have McNulty. On Zeratul, we have Flyus Raven. On ETC, we have Tithel. On Malfurion, we have Skigam. And on Li Ming, we have Axon.
And on Ricks are for kids, we have Mitchie D playing Falstad. We've got Zergling playing Zul'jin. We have Dan Clan rocking the Lucio. Squirrel Sean bringing the Garrosh. Good tanking coming out of him lately. And Dimensiona backing us all up with some Rhaegar.
And
it should be fun to see how they configure their lanes here. And right away, Falstad has to respond to some aggressive early lane push, going for that tower right out of the gate from 2+2, and they pick it up.
And it looks like Ricks for Kids is attempting to equalize that experience by charging the tower and top lane themselves. Squirrelshawn taking a decent amount of damage during this, but he does have Lucio there, so he's keeping him up.
Yeah, and Ricks for Kids are indeed able to pick up that top tower, and they're also able to pick up that lower wall, so if they get a chance to engage on Flyest Raven there, who I know they're not exactly able to pick up just yet, being in stealth. They're hiding out behind his lane, but they've got a good positional advantage if they make a move.
Meanwhile, Brightwing getting some free soak that's being uncontested, and that's nothing you want to see. Rekt Surfer Kids might need to respond to that soon before they lose an advantage.
Yeah, absolutely. Right now, the XP is staying pretty even. It looks like 2+2 is pulling out just a little bit here. That's uncontested Brightwing lane, again, giving him the early advantage. Rekt Surfer Kids pushing hard on that top fort, trying to take it down here before the temples activate, saving shots for better structures.
And they were able to pick up the kill on the Zul'jin there, but shortly after in the bottom lane, Rhaegar fell as well.
Yeah, so we're still even on kills. I will say 2+2 does have an XP lead right now. That Brightwing being alone there is giving them a potential early game advantage again.
Yeah, and you see her get a few free shots for her team while they were still making the rotation. Then she flew up to Zul'jin to try and save, or I'm sorry, Zeratul to try and save what was going on up there. The rotation doesn't seem to be coming from anybody but Ski Gam though there, so they're just going to provide the exit and leave that tower for Rekt Surfer Kids.
Yep, Rekt Surfer Kids now moving in to take that top tower. Most of the mid tower is gone now, with Brightwing picking up the vast majority of the beginning of it.
Yeah, that her rotation to the middle lane and then being able to pick up the shots for a little bit and make sure Zeratul had gotten out safely in that sticky situation he was in top lane. That was a great sequence for McNulty there.
And we see 2+2 harassing this top tower here, trying to go in, make something happen on the Garrosh. They're lighting Garrosh up. Squirrelshot in a lot of trouble here, taking a ton of damage, almost down. Will he get out? And yes, he does manage to escape. Great Lucio heals coming out, keeping him going, and they're going to try and chase and put a little pressure back in here. Brightwing coming in is going to cause them a lot of trouble. I don't know if they see it, but they've got a pretty harsh rotation coming in on him with the Zeratul coming in on Garrosh. Man, they are hungry to kill Garrosh, but Zeratul just gets melted. Absolutely melted by Garrosh and Zul'jin.
That was insane because it really looked like they had the advantage that entire fight, and then all of a sudden Zeratul was just gone.
Yeah, Zul'jin hit him well with the twin cleave there, and there was just no more Zeratul anymore, and all of a sudden that advantageous 4v3 turned into 2+2 running for their lives. Brightwing almost went down fleeing from them as well.
We see great use of the Falstad flight. Right after he takes the aggressive camp, he flies back up to the top lane to check the Zul'jin and make sure he doesn't lose experience. Heads-up awareness by Mitchie D's there.
Yeah, absolutely. They're going to allow him to flex on that global and move around as much as he can, keeping map pressure up on 2+2. It looks like their goal here is to keep the pressure on and not allow 2+2 to take that push advantage or any kind of structural advantage. With the top lane aggression from Rekt Surfer Kids, when they did take the altar, they were able to actually put 2+2 down a structure. And because of that, and the fact that they still have their mid fort, they're up in XP.
Yeah, and they're going to have a chance to be able to take control of this bottom temple, having a full level lead, and that's always kind of scary because whoever gets this bottom temple tends to snowball it a little bit, and if you make a mistake, you can find yourself on the losing end of a game fairly quickly.
Yes, absolutely. You're right. Statistically speaking, this bot tower is very important. It looked like Zeratul made Falstad absolutely pay for not keeping an eye out for the shimmery stealth, and made him pay for being alone.
Yeah, that's the tough thing. When you go up there to check Zeratul like that, you can only do it for so long. He's going to punish you, over and over again with his gravity bombs, and after a while, you're gonna suddenly be done.
Yeah, it was a good play on the part of Flyest Raven to sort of put that false dot in check, and it looks like he's eyeballing the Rhaegar to do the same, but is immediately spotted and is in some trouble here, but is going to be able to blink out and get support from Brightwing. Oh, with Li Ming getting blown up in the bottom lane, this trio of Garrosh, Zul'jin, and Lucio is just doing synergistic work.
Yeah, and Lucio putting out a surprising amount of hero damage here, too. He's involved in a lot of these kills. His damage has been fairly relevant for a support, but right now he's caught in the mosh pit, and or Zul'jin got caught in the mosh pit. Not the mosh pit, I'm sorry. He got caught in the power slide and absolutely got deleted.
Yes, absolutely, he did. And it looks like where Rekt Surfer Kids had a bit of a positional advantage, they got a little too greedy, and the Zul'jin pickup is going to slow them down on picking up this bottom altar.
Yeah, it doesn't look like they're going to be able to take the altar at all, as 2+2 has complete control, and it seems like Rixer for Kids knows they should just rotate off and take the experience.
Yeah, Rixer for Kids picking up 10. You know, they're doing a good job here. They're defending that mid fort. We'll see if it'll be enough for them to prevent 2+2 from getting 10. No, it won't be enough for them to press any kind of heroics advantage. They hit it about 3/4 of a level before before 2+2, but this altar has caused them to gain a lot of that XP back.
Yeah, with the previous structure advantage they had gone, and now actually behind in structures, it looks like they're going to all rotate to the bottom lane and try and engage here a little bit and see if they can press this advantage in their favor somewhat.
Yeah, it looks like they've made a decision to fan out away from Zeratul, and they're going to try and catch somebody here. They've got a good bit on ETC, who still does have a power slide to escape with. And Garrosh getting into a little bit of trouble here. Good ancestral healing coming out, maybe just a touch early, but he survives. And they pick up the Falstad kill. That's not great for Rixer for Kids, and that Zeratul bubble is ugly. This is going to go very poorly for Lucio and Rhaegar. They may not be able to chase down Lucio.
That was hilarious, putting the Void Prison down. He power slides right in and immediately hits the two-person mosh. I love those kind of setups, and Void Prison proving to be the wild card that's very hard to deal with, as Garrosh takes enough damage to go down as well.
And I think we're seeing some pretty standard heroic pickups here on both teams. Guillotine coming in, Mighty Gust on Rixer for Kids with Falstad. Got Warlord's Challenge on Garrosh. We've seen the Ancestral Healing already, and of course Sound Barrier on Lucio. We've seen the Void Prison do work. We were talking about a stage dive, which I know can be crazy sometimes, good globals, but I think they decided that they had the global covered and they really needed the mosh pit from ETC. And we're seeing that stun work with the wave coming out from Falstad, catching ETC in a bad position on this boss here. And they do manage to pick up boss, but Rixer for Kids manages to steal a kill away from him. We'll see what kind of value they get out of the bot lane push on boss.
Yeah, that's really going to help in case this boss does end up getting a tower or two, which doesn't seem likely right now, but you don't know. But getting that kill will really help you stop from falling behind in experience, especially with the temples activating so quickly. I do think it's worth noting that Lili went Wave of Force, and with the Emerald Wind and all of ETC's displacement, they have the potential to really move their opponents around the battlefield the way they want to.
They do. That's going to make it hard for Rixer for Kids to hold position, take these altars, and like we saw there, it's going to make it a little bit difficult for them to be able to secure a boss. Wave of Force I did not see initially on Li Ming, so good call out there, opting for that instead of the laser.
Yeah, I think it was a smart pickup, and they recognize the things that you just mentioned, the importance of getting a boss, and the importance of pushing somebody off and taking the last few shots of a temple can really swing some advantages even more in your favor. Squirrel Sean taking a lot of damage. You see the Brightwing come in, the big shields come out, but the heals are strong for Rixer for Kids, and Squirrel Sean just walks right on out.
He did. That sound barrier was absolutely clutch. Saved his life. Followed up by some chain heals out of Rhaegar, and he was in good shape again, able to escape. It does look like Rixer for Kids are losing a bit of experience here. They're about half a level down. They've been in that position. They're down a talent at the moment, or they were down a talent for a second, so that might have caused them some problems in that fight. But now that they're on even ground in the bot lane, they're trying to push back in and show a little bit of aggression to 2+2.
With the 4-man 4v4 going on the bottom, Falstad flew up a little early and started this temple, but little to his knowledge does he know a shimmery, sneaky guy is sneaking up on him, and Zeratul going in, putting a lot of damage in with the Vorpal Blade, and he goes right down.
He does, and it was almost an unnecessary rotation for Brightwing, but he's going to go ahead and McNulty's going to pick up this top altar and let Zeratul keep doing Zeratul things. The entire team remaining alive for Rixer for Kids, pulling up to engage on the mid lane here. They might try and sweep out this last fort, pick up the XP that they are lagging behind almost or over a full level now.
Rixer for Kids turned it around pretty quickly last game, but things look a little more dire right now. 2+2 has a stranglehold on this map, and it's going to be hard to push them off of what they want because of all these knockbacks and stuns.
They do. I wonder, though, if they've sacrificed a little bit of their damage potential. They're leaning rather heavily on the assassination capabilities of Zeratul, and beyond that, again, we've seen them play a lot of objectives, and we see that from their picks here, both in comp and heroic pickups. they like to play the objective. They like to secure the objective. And we saw them do that last game, but Rixer for Kids miraculously punished them for a single mistake and ran away with that at the end of that game. See if they can do it again, although, like you said, it's looking much more dire for them.
Yeah, they've got to find a kill soon, because this is going to continue to be hard for them to just hope to chase down the Zeratul like that and get around the Void Prism. We see the Polymorph come out on the Garrosh. The 2+2 is in hot pursuit. We see the Power Slide come in right on the Mosh Pit, but the displacement from the Gust was amazing there. Falstad saving his entire team potentially.
Falstad, not even potentially, literally saved his entire team there. Squirrel Sean on Garrosh trying to run away from Zeratul, escaping through the top portion of the lane, pulling Zeratul back into a nasty position. Zeratul in a lot of trouble here. Falstad trying to pursue. Good heals, good shields on both teams. This is a beautiful team fight right now. And Zeratul, the first one to go down, overcommitting just a little bit, took just too much damage. And Rixer for Kids are going to push now. They're going to take out ETC next. Oh my, this is a similar situation to what we saw last time, where Rixer for Kids weathered a team fight that was engaged. And as you know, 2+2 picked that fight. They started that fight, but they dropped the Void Prison from Zeratul a little early because he was in trouble. And as a result, they were lacking that crucial setup to crush them all. Even after Mosh Pit caught 4 out of 5 for Rixer for Kids, they still somehow managed to lose that team fight, going down 3.
Yeah, that Gust was so clutch. It basically set up everything that's happening now, and they're just going to take a free keep. And that's the right play here, because they're going to get this done a lot faster than the Temple could.
They absolutely are, and again, we're seeing that aggressive play from Rixer for Kids, where they're capitalizing and punishing those down moments of 2+2. They took the team fight. They're going to get good value out of it, taking camps, taking the bot fort, starting the boss, while they know that players from 2+2 are in the top lane and currently unable to respond effectively. With Li Ming up there, this boss could be long to Rixer for Kids.
I don't think I like that Void Prison very much. I don't know what the purpose of it was. I don't think he was in trouble. He really shouldn't have been there. Obviously, ETC is going to look for a good mosh pit here to try and set up a free boss for them, but the Gust comes out and they're fighting over the position. Lucio goes down in the process, or I'm sorry, Zeratul goes down in the process, and Squirrel Sean is putting on a ton of damage onto ETC. We see Lucio bouncing around with his heals and bops, and they take the team fight and the boss. This might be GG right here.
This is a lot of trouble for 2+2. Again, we see that swing from Rixer for Kids, able to capitalize on a team fight and absolutely punish 2+2 for their downtime here, completely wiping their team in that fight. Something I'm seeing is that the twin cleave axes from Soulgen are absolutely just creating a barrier of death for 2+2 to walk into on these team fights. And he's able to target them very effectively and just clean house. Squirrel Sean had some excellent plays and pulls, catching Zeratul out of position. What do you think went wrong here for 2+2? Because they really did look like they were in control.
Just 2 bad moments from Zeratul really cost him. Like, the first time he just kind of got caught moving around. They were looking for him. You could tell they were roaming around looking for Zeratul because of the things you were mentioning, the assassination potential. And once they found him, he had to blow that Void Prison early. If ETC had been a little bit closer, the rest of the team been a little bit closer, and Falstad not so well set up, they might have been able to swing that, but that wasn't really the backbreaker. Trying to just throw down the Void Prison while they were in the middle fighting the boss made little to no sense, and it felt like kind of like a panic or maybe a fat finger. I really don't know.
Yeah, I saw 2 Void Prisons coming out of Zeratul. Who was playing Zeratul again on 2+2 side? I don't. Here we go.
On the Zeratul was Flyest Raven.
Flyest Raven. I saw him drop the Void Prison. You know, one of the second to last one he dropped was almost good. They were ready, they were close, but it ended up fading just a second before ETC could come in and set up. And you know what? ETC still managed to come in and set up a great mosh pit, but they were able to escape because of some clutch false.gust play. But that Void Prison on that boss, I'm not sure if their plan was to delay there, to give, like we were talking about, Li Ming was still trapped in the top lane, and they were on their way. Brightwing could teleport in, but Li Ming has to run. So maybe the Void Prison was an effort to delay Rixer for Kids, give 2+2 a chance to actually contest that boss with a full team.
Yeah. We got J Fry saying 100. We'll cheer again if the caster does the Green Giant TV jingle. What is it?
Ho 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 ho! Green Giant.
Giant. Yeah. All right. you got two casters doing it, so that was
harmony.
That was a bonus. We nailed that. So I think we will probably be moving into a quick 10-minute break as Rick Surfer Kids has gone up 2-0 and taken the series, and we will be bringing you our next match. I don't have that in front of me at the moment, but that will be coming to you soon, TM.
I thought our next one was Trog Squad versus You Face Braxis.
That sounds correct.
So, should be fun.
Alrighty. Everybody go get your water, take a break, relax, and we will be back with you very soon.